Hello, welcome back. Today I'm back at the Fairmount Cemetery in Denver, Colorado. We're going to be visiting the grave of Emily Griffith. She was a teacher who started the Denver Opportunity School and was tragically murdered. Now her murder is still unsolved even today. So I'm going to tell you about her story as we go look for her grave. Emily Griffith was a visionary educator in the field of adult, vocational, and alternative education. After working as a teacher and administrator in Denver, she started the Denver Opportunity School in 1916 on the idea that education should be accessible to everyone, regardless of age, race, or gender. The school was free and open to all who wished to learn. The first institution of its kind in the nation, the school and its philosophy established Denver as a leader in adult education in America. Emily Griffith was born on February 10, 1868 in Cincinnati, Ohio. Her father was an unsuccessful lawyer, and the family struggled financially. Her parents and siblings were often sick, so she left school after the 8th grade to take care of her family. Her sister Florence was developmentally disabled, and the sisters developed a strong bond that would last their entire lives. The family left Ohio to homestead in Nebraska when Emily was 16. Her father was unable to support the family, so Emily found work as a teacher in a one-room sod schoolhouse. Living with families in the community, she found that many of the adults had limited opportunities for education. She came to believe that access to education could lift people out of poverty. In 1894, the family moved to Denver, where Emily applied to teach in the local school system. After a decade in Denver classrooms, she was promoted in 1904 to be the Deputy State Superintendent of Schools, helping to oversee schools throughout the state. In 1908, she returned to the classroom as an 8th grade teacher in Denver's Five Points neighborhood. The neighborhood was home to African Americans and immigrants whose lack of education and opportunity often left them in poverty. Many of Emily's young students had to work to support their families, as she had at their age. A compassionate teacher, she became involved in the lives of her students and their families, and she began to offer basic literacy lessons to adults in the neighborhood. Emily dreamed of starting a free school where people of all ages could attend classes with flexible hours and personalized instruction. She believed that offering training and skills would enable people to get better jobs and enrich society as well as their own lives. She even had a name for the school, Opportunity. Emily presented her idea to the Denver Board of Education on May 11, 1916. The board endorsed Opportunity School, and on September 9th, Opportunity School opened its doors. Emily hoped that 200 students would register for classes, but 1,400 students enrolled the first week. Some classes taught specific job skills, such as millinery, telegraphy, typewriting, sewing, and carpentry. Other classes taught academic subjects, such as reading, writing, math, and English. Griffith added new skills and subjects based on what students wanted to learn. When a student fainted from hunger one day, Emily recognized a new need. Her mother made a pot of soup, which her sister Florence served in the school's basement. By the end of the year, 200 bowls of soup were served each day. Women's clubs started to provide the soup, and Florence continued to serve the soup to students for many years. The school evolved with the times. During World War I, it offered classes in airplane mechanics, radio communication, steelworking, nursing, and ambulance driving. Classes were also added in salesmanship, bookkeeping, and advertising, as well as in beauty work, such as hairstyling and barbering. Special classrooms for blind and deaf students taught communication and job skills. By 1931, enrollment had grown to about 10,000 people in 43 classes, with 105 teachers. In 1933, Emily retired after 17 years as principal of Opportunity School. She was 65 years old. Opportunity School's name was changed to Emily Griffith Opportunity School to honor her contributions. Emily retired to Pinecliff, a small town near Nederland in the hills west of Boulder. She shared a cabin with her sister Florence, who was unable to live by herself. Then sadly, on June 18, 1947, Emily and Florence Griffith were found murdered on the floor of their cabin, each shot once in the back of the head, execution style. The doors of the cabin were locked, and there were no signs of struggle. The dinner table was set for 3. Nothing appeared disturbed, and no money was missing. On the afternoon of the murders, a delivery man had dropped off groceries at the cabin and was greeted by the 2 sisters and Fred Lundy, who lived nearby. Fred Lundy was immediately suspected. He had access to the cabin, and his car was parked nearby with a stash of cash in the briefcase. There was also a note in the briefcase that read, "To the coroner, if and when I die, please ship my body to Roscoe, Illinois, to be buried in our family plot. No autopsy. Contact cousin Roy Cummings. No funeral here. Money in this briefcase can be used for immediate expenses. Thank you. P.S. Please embalm in Boulder, Colorado." Lundy had also mailed an unsigned letter to his brother the day of the murders. In it, he settled his estate. "Don't come here," he wrote. "Nothing serious. Just wanted to get this off my mind." A nationwide search for Lundy had turned up empty until his body was found a month later in a nearby South Boulder Creek. His death was ruled a suicide by drowning. Rumors had spread that Lundy was in love with Emily, but Emily didn't love him. Or Emily was sick and could no longer care for her sister, and Lundy couldn't bear to watch the sister's health deteriorate, and maybe it was a mercy killing. Others believed Lundy was incapable of the murders and suggested that the sisters were killed by relatives for life insurance money, or that an unknown killer was on the loose. Lundy's guilt was never proven, and the crime was never solved. The sisters were cremated immediately, so no autopsies were performed, and what evidence remained was lost to storage changes and a fire. The deaths of the Griffith sisters shocked the Denver community. Their double funeral was held at Central Presbyterian Church, where Emily Griffith had been a member for decades. Flags flew at half-mast, and the Emily Griffith Opportunity School closed for the day. To celebrate Emily's contributions to Colorado, a stained glass portrait of her was installed in the state capitol in 1976, and she was inducted into the Colorado Women's Hall of Fame in 1985. So her grave is right underneath this tree here. You can see the tree has almost kind of pushed it up. We'll try to get under the branch here. And you can see Emily Griffith, June 18th, 1947, founder Opportunity School for all who wish to learn. And then also her sister, Florence Griffith. And people have left some rocks. Oh, that's really cute on the top. It looks like that's probably a bowl of soup. Looks like there was a flag here at once. There was maybe a little pottery thing here. It's kind of broken. Yeah, it's kind of hard to get under here with this tree. Yeah, there is the grave of Emily and her sister Florence Griffith, who were murdered. And Emily did great things for education here in Colorado, so unfortunately their murders were never solved. So rest in peace. Hope you enjoyed that video and getting to see the grave of Emily Griffith. Please like and subscribe for some more videos, and I'll see you at the next grave. Thanks.